Even though I've kind of strayed away from the VR content lately, a lot of people have been coming to my streams and stuff and asking if I'm going to get Contractors Showdown. And I kind of want to make a video explaining why I won't probably be doing that for a minute. Yeah, it's a little awkward.
Okay, let's do this. We're alright. Well, that's not good.
So I bought the game right around the actual release date. A viewer of mine and a friend of mine donated to me so I could actually buy it. 20 bucks, so it's not that expensive, especially for a decent VR game. I was like, oh, let's do it, dude. That 20 bucks? Come on. The old saying goes, $20 is $20, you know what I'm saying? So, let's do it. Bought the game, downloaded it, flawless. So when I first opened the game up to check it out, the first thing I noticed is like, oh, there's no volume slider or no audio tab in any way, shape, or form. So, okay, that's a little awkward. So throughout the day, I was finding more like little features and stuff, but when I first did it, I was like, the movement's horrible. I don't really like how it handles. It feels funny. It feels like I'm walking on like stilts or something. The height adjustment just seems off. So comes to find out, there's a bit of an issue going on with Quest 2, Quest 3 using AirLink, or normal, just Oculus Link, I guess you would call it, even though it's meta now. And the height is off for some reason. Even if you have your boundary set correctly and it detects your boundary right, for some reason in the AirLink itself, there's something to do with it where it's just not right. And I'm not really sure what causes that, but that's been an issue I've run into. I've seen a few other people on Reddit post or Twitter post or whatever about the game that they run into the issue too, so I know it's not completely like a me thing, but it's something I've heard a lot of people running into, especially for a PC player. It kind of sucks. Speaking of playing on PC, this is why I refunded it. The game runs like trash on PC. Now, I do stream while I play games, so I'll give it a test that it probably runs a little bit better than it did for me to make me actually refund the game, but it still runs pretty rough. I even ran, obviously, there's no solos, so I had to run with 2 other people, and one of the guys I ran into was actually a PC player too, and he was telling me, he was like, yeah, dude, this game runs horribly on my computer, and I have like a RTX 4000 series. Like, I don't even know which one he had, but he just told me I had a 40 series. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I got a 3070 and a Ryzen 7600 CPU. You'd think it would be fine, but, you know, I guess not. I even have 32 gigs of RAM, so, like, you know, it's not a RAM issue, it's not a CPU issue, it's not a GPU issue, so it runs pretty rough, even if you have a pretty stout computer. I don't know if it's an issue between Oculus and Contractors, or it's just a game issue in general, just normally, because I've heard a lot of Quest players and stuff, the game looks like trash. That's their main like complaint, is it just looks really bad. Like the foliage or whatever is really ugly. It doesn't even look like a tree. It just looks like a fucking JPEG. You know what I mean? It doesn't look great for them, and then even though it looks decent on PC, it runs like trash. You only get like 30 FPS most of the time. So that's what actually caused me to refund it. That was a deal breaker for me because obviously I can't play the game. I couldn't do good in it. I couldn't do anything. And I stopped my stream and tried to play the game off stream. It still had issues. I played the game on stream. It had issues. It never changed. What I'm really hoping is that Contractors Showdown will kind of do what they did with their normal Contractors VR game, and is they just improve it over time. I love the company that makes Contractors and Contractors Showdown. I love both of them. There's little issues and rinky-dinks here and there, but Contractors VR is pretty well-rounded. I really do like just the normal game that they have, but Showdown is just in such a early state that it has bugs like that, and it's not their fault. They're still ironing things out, obviously, but it's still something that I do have to talk about and why I don't want to play the game right now. Obviously it's kind of hard for me to play VR now because I don't really play Tabor anymore, and then, yeah, obviously Contractor Showdown doesn't work for me. People keep on telling me to buy it standalone, but I can't stream it if I buy it standalone, you know what I mean? Another issue I was having when the game was working smoothly is the holsters. The holsters, whenever I turn my body in real life, it doesn't actually follow my true body, like, along with me. When I would turn, it would act so weird. It actually is one of the reasons why I died, and then right as soon as I died, I told my buddy, I was like, hey, request a refund. I'm done. I don't want to play this game ever again. Like, I actually rage quit off of it pretty rough. And, you know, again, I'm not saying it's a bad game and it's not fun. I obviously do play Warzone pretty regularly on stream, and I enjoy it to a degree. So it being in VR, I thought I would enjoy it more, but I just didn't enjoy it personally, and that's not against the game. That's just my enjoyment. You know, people kind of play it like they do like Speedsoft, if you've ever played Airsoft in real life. It's a little weird because they just play so aggressively and they run and jump and hop right in front of you, and I don't know. In a VR game, I like a more realistic experience, like where we're taking everything a little slower, where I actually have time to react and stuff like that. And I don't know. That was just one of the personal opinions. Like, that's a skill issue on my end. I have to admit it when it is true. In the few hours that I did put in the game, it was only about 2 exactly, because obviously I got my refund back from Steam. It was a fun game, but it also had a lot of drawbacks. It's fun and enjoyable. If you have friends to play it with, it's perfect. But if you got to play it alone, I would not recommend buying it. My biggest issue right now, aside from the performance issues, is the fact that it does not have solo or duos or anything. It's trios all the way, all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is really, really annoying. No one wants to do that all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't care who you are. If you want to play alone, you want to play alone. You don't want to have teammates yelling in your ear. You don't want to have none of that. And you don't want to have to fight an entire team by yourself, because you're almost guaranteed to lose every time. You can be one of the best VR players on the planet, but if you have 3 even half-decent people shooting at you, you're not going to win that gunfight. And if you do, I mean, absolutely, it's good on you, but you know what I mean. It's not fun. The day that they add solos, I might buy the game again and give it another shot, but until then, I just can't bring myself to it. It's one of those games that, honestly, if you have, like, friends that play it all the time, or, like, you know a community you want to be a part of and they play it all the time, that's when I would buy it, because it's a very party kind of game. It's like you need 2 other people to play it with if you're gonna play. But if you like playing games alone like I do most of the time, dude, it's not it. It doesn't have the support. It does not have the support to be played alone, and that's what's so disappointing. It's such a good concept on paper, but the way they executed it, again, with the performance issues, no solo or duo mode, it's disappointing. And I know that the devs have reached out and said some things about, oh, well, the solo causes a lot of issues with our servers, etc., or hey, we're working on this, and that's absolutely amazing. I'm glad that they're working towards it and they're trying to work on it. But again, I do have to talk about these things and address them, because if I didn't, I would be, you know, a liar and a con artist. So I have to kind of talk about them and the reason why I don't play the game anymore, and that it'll be a while before I do buy the game again. Regardless of that, I hope I don't make anybody mad with my opinion and my experiences. Genuinely speaking, I don't want to have any issue with anybody like I did with the Tabor stuff as much as I did. I don't want to argue about it. No hate on your game. If you love the game, then I'm so happy for you, and I'm glad you had a better experience than I did. It's no hate towards the devs either. But again, I just think that I had a bit of a bad run with it, and again, it'll get better with time. So that's me more of addressing why I refunded it. So I don't mean any hate to your devs or your game, and if the devs may ever seen this, bless your heart. I know you're trying your best. It's hard. It's really hard out here, and don't take any of this personally. I know you're probably working on all of these things. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you guys for watching the video, and if you want more VR content, please leave a like down below and suggest some games. I'm going to make a few games. I think I'm going to make a video on Gorn. I think that would be something fun. And maybe Blade and Sorcerer if you guys would like more of a funnier video where it's more of me just jumping around being a goofball. So yeah.